What would be your message to the president as he leans forward and speaks to the nation on really difficult topics?
I think my message is quite simple. He needs to create a much more empathetic bond with the people. Emotional intelligence is the quality in gravitas that is leaping up the charts. This is the thing that wasn't even on leaders' lists, 10 years ago. But the ability to sit inside someone else's shoes, to understand where they're at. When the president talked to the Trayvon Martin case, a few months ago, and he actually cried on television. People loved that because it showed he had a heart. He wasn't this distant president. I think he suffers from being seen as disconnected, really too cold and distant.
And this would be a shift from his campaign. I mean, I remember speaking with Ted Sorensen, the great speechwriter for John Kennedy, who made clear he felt President Obama was a better speaker than President Kennedy.
Right.
How does he get that pixie dust back?
Well, he is an amazing putter-together of words. He can talk incredibly eloquently. It's all about the passion, the connection, the empathy.
What was it that Ronald Reagan did so effectively?
Good question.
I think he had the common touch. He could convince everyone that he was the man next door and that he had led a life like theirs and cared about, very basic American things. He didn't do the professor thing, right? He wasn't above the fray. There was an accessibility.
Who's the most effective U.S. politician then today if the president isn't getting it done on emotional intelligence?
Well, we asked, 30 leaders and 4,000 executives who their icon was in terms of executive presence. And there were two answers. First off, there was Jamie Dimon. His grace under fire, his sense of hanging on to personal integrity, huge. But the second one was Nelson Mandela, because he had this mix of enormous track record, authority, and inspiration, one so in such a hard way. Remember those 23 years on that island in prison? But he had extraordinary emotional intelligence. He understood at that rugby game when the Springboks won that he had to get onto that field and hug the Afrikaans captain, because it would signal to South America that he was truly in this business of healing and reconciliation.